The road to WrestleMania is taking the scenic route through Saudi Arabia this year, and I don't think there is a $1 million firework package more explosive than the wrestling community's reaction to this show. Let us light the gunpowder and follow the path, shall we? My name is Tom Campbell, and this is WWE Super ShowDown Graded. First match of the night on the kickoff show, it's the Viking Raiders versus the OC. Basic match with these guys. Ivar misses a moonsault, eats the magic killer. 1, 2, 3, done. It's a C. Standard television match. Gets us underway. Nothing else to say, really. So we come to the opening match of the show proper. It is the the prestigious Tuwaiq Trophy Gauntlet match. R-Truth and Bobby Lashley get us started. Lashley, after battering Truth for a good long while, misses a spear into the corner. Truth rolls him up and gets the shock win. Truth staying alive in this match. Out comes Andrade, who slowly works over the arm of Truth, and rinse repeat with Lashley. Andrade makes a mistake. Truth rolls him up. Truth still in the match. Incidentally, after both of these altercations, Truth has just been given a kicking from his prior opponents. It's becoming quite the meme. Out comes Eric Rowan, continues to batter on R-Truth. At one point, the fight goes outside the ring and Truth is thrown into the steps, knocks off Rowan's cage. Rowan is livid, messing with his insert thing here, the way that Truth did. And Eric Rowan ends up just clattering Truth with the steel steps, getting disqualified. R-Truth still in this match as AJ Styles makes his way slowly down to the ring, just dances around the husk of R-Truth for ages before locking in the calf crusher, getting the submission, and R-Truth is done. R-Truth is out and Rey Mysterio's music hits. No Rey Mysterio. He's getting beaten up backstage by the Good Brothers. Ooh, nasty. AJ Styles stands in the ring looking like the villain from Robin Hood. Ha, 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 ha. Count him out and I will win by forfeit. Except that doesn't happen, because suddenly we see the Good Brothers getting battered backstage by a man in a long black trench coat and black boots. I thought it was Mansoor. Turned out to be the Undertaker, who makes his way down to the ring, doesn't even take his cloak, doesn't even take his coat off, doesn't even take his hat off. Chokeslam to AJ. 1, 2, 3. Undertaker has won the Tuwaiq Mountain Trophy. And he is so delighted with this. He stares at it for a bit and then just leaves. I wondered what they would have done with that. Like, part of me kind of wants to see the Undertaker pick it up and put it under his arm like a newspaper, but that didn't happen. This was a C. I like the story of R-Truth, but every match was just slow and plodding. And then the Undertaker turned up and just trashed AJ Styles with one chokeslam. Very confused. C to get us started. Gauntlet's done. Undertaker's done. What else could possibly happen tonight? We come to what I believe is the best match of the night in ring. It's Miz and Morrison challenging the New Day for the SmackDown tag team titles. Great tag team techers from these guys. Lovely to see the Miz and Morrison just in fine form here. They work over Big E for ages until Kofi gets the hot tag and just starts wiping people out. Horrible bit where Kofi does the trustful and Miz moves out of the way outside. So Kofi just absorbs the entire trustful with his back. Horrible. Back in the ring, Kofi has managed to fight back from underneath, only to eat a secret little behind the referee's back chair shot to the guts from the Miz. He gets rolled up by Morrison and we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. First time these guys have held the belts together since 2009. Fun fact. B- for me. Crowd points were really into this, which was nice to hear. And they worked really well together. This was in-ring, as I say, best match of the night. And I want to see these two do more going forward. Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo up next. Now, these guys had a pretty standout match on Raw on Monday. This was a few steps behind it. There were points where, like, I love the fast pace that these two guys have, and when it's picture perfect, it looks amazing. But at points, At points, this felt a bit too much like choreographed dancing, and that's the risk that you run when you do that kind of style. It was fine. It was a fine match, but they had a better match on Raw. And the finish came where they were both jockeying for positions with roll-ups, and then Angel Garza just sort of hunkered down on the last one and got the 3. Done and dusted. C+. It was a good match. Wasn't their best. Seth Rollins and Murphy defending the Raw Tag Team titles now against the Street Profits. Big old firework display for the Profits. In fact, tonight has been firework central. The amount of pyro that everybody's had. Like, I'm pretty sure they said, here's 25 mil for the fireworks. We don't want a penny back. So everybody's getting pyro tonight. It's hilarious. Tag match was fine. Again, it just... The issue is tonight, a lot of these just feel like good TV matches. But we're at the show that is the equivalent to or better than WrestleMania. But everything just feels like sort of standard TV matches. Montez Ford stands out to me, as he always does when he's in the Street Profits. It's a beauty of a frog splash for a near fall. Like, height for days. He nearly goes into the stratosphere. It was amazing. Finish is very similar to the same finish that Rollins and Murphy used to win the belts, as Angelo Dawkins is sort of lolling on his head with his head leaning out of the ring. Rollins hits a curb stomp on the apron, and Buddy Murphy rolls him up for the 3, and they retain the titles. A C+ for me. You're going to hear a lot of C+s tonight. It was fine. It was a good match. Didn't stand out. Crowd were umming and ahhing about being into it. C+. Dolph Ziggler takes on Saudi Arabia's own Mansoor next. It is Mansoor's biannual pay-per-view appearance. Hilarious amount of pyro for Mansoor. I think he got the biggest entrance of the night, I'm not sure. Ziggler's out with Robert Roode, but he gets sent to the back for being rude. Obviously, see what I did there. Mansoor wins the technical aspect of the match, but Ziggler starts to dominate going into Act 2. Very by the numbers, good guy, bad guy match. Near the end, we see Mansoor fighting back from underneath. I really like his slingshot neck breaker over the rope. That's a really fun move. He hits a sliced bread DDT that I thought might have broken Ziggler's neck. Really uneasy crunch. And then he hits a moonsault where he just gets the knees onto the guts of Ziggler, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. At the end of the match, we get a speech from Mansoor where he talks about being the star of Saudi Arabia in WWE. It's a bit of a rinse repeat of what he did last year. And I noticed, I don't know if you did, the crowd were a little bit quieter for Mansoor on this occasion. I feel like maybe people are clocking on to the fact that this guy doesn't do anything on WWE television, but he comes to these shows and wins and then says, this is it, this is our time. I wonder whether they're figuring it out now. I don't know. But it was a lovely win for Mansoor. Again, it was a fine match. Nothing special about it. Very by the numbers. C+ once again. A lot of C+s tonight. I would like to see Mansoor do more things. I think he's a good wrestler. Good worker. I feel like he can do more than just kind of be like a glorified tour guide, like for Saudi Arabia shows. He can do so much more than that. And I'd like to see something more substantial for him next time we come to Saudi Arabia, because there will be a next time. Right, Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet. I love the build to this. I love the video package of Ricochet basically saying, yeah, everyone's counting me out. No one thinks I can do it. Why not me? I love this. I loved watching this. Really bought into the idea that Ricochet wasn't going to win, but was maybe going to pull out a few things out of the hat, surprise a little bit. No, none of that. Bell sounds. Ricochet flies at Lesnar and just gets swatted. Suplex, 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 and punches. F5. Or maybe he'll kick out of an F5. Oh, he hasn't kicked out of an F5, and that is literally it. Brock Lesnar obliterates Ricochet. And the moment the pinfall goes down, Michael Cole on commentary says, Brock Lesnar sending a message to Drew McIntyre. So that's all that was. It was a message to Drew McIntyre. It's an F. Here's my problem. If you have somebody that every Christmas buys you socks, you get used to having socks from them. And then one year, and this is kind of in keeping with the video package. One year they say, oh no, I haven't got your socks this year. I've got you something really good this year. And you go, nah, you've got me socks. No. I've got you something really good. Something really good. You're going to get for Christmas this year, I promise. Something really good. And you open it and it's socks again. That's how this felt. They kind of gave us the inkling that, oh, maybe we'll get a little something here. No way was Ricochet winning. I didn't want to see him get shellacked, though. Where? F. Didn't like it. This could have been a segment on Raw. This didn't need to be a hyped title main event on a pay-per-view. It's an F. Let's liven things up with Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin inside a steel cage. Roman Reigns brings his own chain to lock the cage with. Presumably went to home base just before, and Baron Corbin was very upset with this, so attacked Roman to get us started. Very, very standard cage match. Some big moves around. Baron tries to climb out. Roman stops him. Finish comes when Roman wraps the chain around his hand and gives him the old Superman punch with the chain. 1, 2, 3. And that is the end. The end of the Reigns-Corbin rivalry. Done. Box ticked. Off we go. A C. This was a C. Nothing special about this match. I thought it was fine. It was by the numbers. The reason I give it the grade that I do is because it means that the Baron Corbin Roman Reigns thing is done. So it gets extra points for that, but I'm going to give it a C. Bayley versus Naomi up next for the SmackDown Women's Championship. First time ever the women's titles being defended in Saudi Arabia. It was... I sound like a broken record, I'm really sorry. It was fine. Naomi looked really good in this, actually. Naomi had some really great flurries. A beautiful corkscrew plancha outside the ring that woke up the crowd, got a "This is awesome" chant going. Bayley just plays the spoiler, slowing things down every time Naomi starts to speed up and wears her down constantly. Naomi had a couple of great flurries and came very close to winning it. The finish I quite liked, actually. Big fan of the finish, where Bayley looks like she's going for an STF, but instead grabs Naomi's t-shirt and wraps it around Naomi's shoes. So Naomi's got her shoes tucked into a t-shirt and she's like, hey, I can't move. This is very peculiar. And in the ensuing panic from Naomi, Bayley just does like this sort of curb stomp, dirty deeds type thing, crack to her head, knocks her out. 1, 2, 3. Bayley retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was a C for me. These guys were okay. I do think that they may have a better match down the line. I don't know whether they were holding back a little bit, but it was a C. I think it was. Bayley had some good moments. Naomi had some good moments, but it was nowhere near their finest hour, so it's a C. So we come to the main event. This is why you have watched this video all the way through, presumably with an advert for Raid Shadow Legends somewhere in the middle. You've suffered that to get to this. Goldberg versus the Fiend. Fiend's taking his jacket off. Spear, 1 count. Spear, spear, claw, spear, claw, headlock, something that vaguely resembles a jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg is the Universal Champion. Goldberg celebrates. Fiend's already back up. Fiend stares down Goldberg. Fiend disappears, bravely running away. As Goldberg celebrates becoming the Universal Champion. Okay. Right. I'm not giving it an F. Okay? I'm not giving it an F. It's getting an E. There's the E. For entertainment. No, not for entertainment. Not in the slightest. It gets an E. This was WWE painting themselves into a corner with the Fiend. Something they have been doing pretty much since they realized there were dollar signs around Bray Wyatt's imagination. And the Fiend should have never been WWE champion. It never should have been, because you created this mystical being that simply cannot be stopped, and you put the belt on them. And for numerous reasons, you simply couldn't have him go into WrestleMania with the belt. But what do? So they did what they did. I'm not giving it an F because I believe there was a concerted effort, this is a conceited effort, a concerted effort at the end to keep the Fiend alive, i.e. kicking out of a spear at one, kicking out of multiple spears, at the end of the match popping back up, and then disappearing of his own volition. He wasn't lay on the ground as Goldberg celebrated above him. He very much was in control of his destiny in the closing moments of that match, which is why I'm not giving it an F. It is getting an E because way to take a real hot thing and kill it dead. Almost. Wowzers. This was a thing. There's obviously plans going forward for WrestleMania that involve Goldberg and The Fiend. I personally think you could have still done The Fiend stuff with the belt. This didn't have to be the way, maybe, but it was, and I'm giving you an E for it. Super ShowDown gets a D-. Now, I'm not giving it an F because the matches around the obvious damaging elements of this show weren't bad matches. They were all right. They weren't standout matches. They were just all right. And there was nothing offensive about them, with the exception, of course, the Universal title and the WWE title match. You could have gone to the concession stand at that arena, bought yourself a drink and a t-shirt and come back, and it would have taken you longer to do that than the two main title matches lasted. Think on that. There is some damage done to a few people coming out of this, and I get why everybody's cross. I do. And I'm not going to sit here and play the optimistic guy, because I know that upsets you sometimes, because sometimes things aren't forgivable. What I would say is vote with your feet. If you weren't a fan of Super ShowDown, if you're not a fan of the direction of WWE, don't tar wrestling with everything. There is so much wrestling out there. Even though we are at a time where Bill Goldberg, at the whims of people at the higher ups, has just wiped out one of the most interesting characters in WWE right now. Despite that, we are still in an amazing time for professional wrestling. Something that in my 36 years of life, I have never known. There is amazing wrestling all around the world. I have access to it at my fingertips, and there is amazing wrestling on my doorstep. If you weren't a fan of this, and if you are upset about WWE's direction going into WrestleMania, vote with your feet. Find a wrestling company you like. There is so much wrestling to love. Don't stop watching wrestling because of this. Make your decisions accordingly. Wrestling is too wonderful to let a night like this ruin it all. Breathe in how angry you are. Be angry about it, because we're passionate people. I get it. But vote with your feet if you need to. Or maybe just take a step away from wrestling for the weekend and then come back on Monday. That might not be a bad idea either. What am I saying? Revolution on Saturday. AEW Revolution on Saturday. If you've been upset with this, buy Revolution. Might change your mind. How about that? I love it. Will I get in trouble for ending a WWE graded video by plugging AEW Revolution? Hey, if you're seeing this message, I probably haven't been in trouble, so that's all right. Love you, bye. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.